Okay, so I just recorded this and wow, I went in all today. This one's personal, it's political, it's spiritual, it's all of it. I talk about censorship, the real, actual censorship that's happening right now. I talked about Aaron Parnas and what's happened to him this week. I've also talked about On Tyranny and why its author just left the US to come teach here in Canada. But this episode isn't just about the news. It's about the deeper stuff, the energy behind all of this. What does it mean when telling the truth feels dangerous? Why do so many of us still silence ourselves before anyone else does it for us? And listen, I get into something really raw. There's a moment that I share about the masculine and the feminine inside all of us, and about how out of balance we've really become. Not just out there, but inside each of us. I even revisit the most listened to episode of this show with Amy Sanders, because the Good Girl programming, it's still running deep. If you're someone who's feeling called to speak up more, live louder, or just stop editing yourself for the comfort of others, then do not skip this one. Let's just hit play.
When the truth becomes an act of rebellion, you know the system is fearing the people. Welcome to another episode of Unlearn the Crap and Level Up Your Soul is Calling. I'm your host, Kathy Baldwin. And on today's Unfiltered Fire Friday, I need to talk to you about sacred sovereignty and having our total unfiltered voice. This podcast was prompted by two very influential people that I follow on TikTok. One of them is Aaron Parnas. Aaron Parnas is an independent journalist. He is a lawyer, but he has chosen to, instead of following his education, his belief in having us know the truth in a system that is in radical turmoil, he has chosen to go the independent journalist route. I trust him because of his education, because of his integrity, because of how he presents the facts without his own opinions. And Aaron has now garnered a huge following. His podcast, his Substack are soaring because people are hungry for the unfiltered truth so that we can start making our own informed decisions based on facts and not propaganda. This week, Aaron Parnas was attacked and threatened by the opposing team, is what the word I will use. What was happening was the power that Aaron is giving to the individuals with information, with the ability to make independent, critical, thought-out decisions by having a voice opposed to the polar opposite of propaganda. That is threatening the very sanctity of our political system, of our societal system. It is threatening the very power structure that Unlearn the Crap is about challenging, because it is time that the power come to the majority, not the minority. It is time for the individual to bring our unique contributions to this world without having to be manipulated and controlled for somebody else's benefit. That's what you call a parasite. Then We have people like Timothy Snyder, who was the author of On Tyranny, a well-renowned, well-respected professor in the United States. Probably was part of what drew so many people to come and learn where he was teaching. People like Timothy Snyder, who are talking about how tyranny works and educating, have left their home country to come to mine. Now, I celebrate the fact that we are now attracting amazing minds and talents and services here in Canada, because for so long, Canada has been a brain drain where our talent has been taken away from us due to economics and the amount of money that could be made in other countries. I celebrate the brain coming to Canada. I do not celebrate the drain that is happening in other places. It is time that we understood what is happening here. Now, as someone who follows universal laws and believes in the timing of everything, in the gestation of everything, I understand that for the pendulum to return, it must hit its extreme point. One of the things that Timothy Snyder said was, do not obey in advance, because obedience isn't always external. It starts internally when we learn to silence our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our opinions, our dreams. That's where obedience comes from. And that is where our own personal empowerment must come from. Another gentleman on TikTok, I give him the greatest kudos because he was talking about the attacks of women are being done by men. And him as a man was challenging someone that said that it was the responsibility of the men to fix it. In this video, he got raw and vulnerable and intimate. And he went where I don't have heard a lot of men go to. He talked about the abuse that he suffered from women who wanted to use him, who wanted to take what they wanted from him in any way possible, whether it was unsolicited acts of touch or unsolicited, unwanted advancements, to coercion through economic or judicial force. Any way you slice it, what he has experienced at the hands of women is as intolerable as what we as women have experienced from men. Do not for any moment in time think that it is justified because it is women stepping into their power. No, that is women becoming abusive. That is women stepping into a system that has oppressed us. This is not a man problem. This is a we problem, and it requires us to fix it. There are distinct traits within the masculine and the feminine, and we all have all of those traits within us. And like that saying goes, the wolf that is fed is the one that grows. So we can choose to find our balance and our symmetry by getting the anchoring and the foundations and the rock of having that masculine hold us centered. And if that starts with our personal alignment, if that starts with our personal truth, our personal voice, our true, authentic gift of what we were brought here for, of what we chose to participate in, then that becomes our foundation. And if we then use that foundation to explore the feminine of creativity, of chaos, of innovation, of building and creating, we can create what it is we choose. But we cannot do it by using the very system that was controlling us and saying, if I can't win, then I might as well join them. That is not a solution. That is disempowerment by personal choice. That is putting the energy of what we don't want just for our own personal gain. That is defeatist. That is brokenness. That is not who we are. Everything about the unlearn the crap philosophy, everything I talk about in my books and on the podcast, it is about the conditioned compliance. It is about our automatic response loops. It is about our controlled silence. And it is about us creating performance to feed a system over our individual truth. But the truth is that us together are greater than us individually as a system. It is the power of our collaboration, our community. It is the power of our voice and communication that is the power that the world is seeking. We cannot justify the control of our voices or the manipulation of those around us and justify it because we are tired of fighting the good fight. No, we are at the precipice of transformation. This is where the most amount of darkness is going to come through. This is where all of what we have been suppressing is going to come to the surface. This is where you are being called, where your soul is begging you to step up, own your voice, own your place, own your purpose, and do it in balance and homeostasis and full interconnectedness with your heart and your mind and your soul and your gut and your community and the world, our collective. It is changing. It is going to continue to change with or without you. Do you know that here at the Unlearn the Crap podcast, do you know what the #1 episode is? I had a guest on named Amy Sanders. We talked about the good girl complex, the syndrome of personal suppression to be labeled good girl, or in this case, also good boy. It was part of the control. Do as I say, and I will give you the reward of labeling you as good. That episode has touched so many people because when we hear the truth, we know whether it resonates or not, including my words right here. These are my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs, my experience. All I want to do with these conversations, especially with my Unfiltered Friday episodes, is spark some reaction, be a disruptor of the complacency, allow you to challenge your thoughts and your current experiences by me touching a nerve, by me touching something that doesn't feel good, and having you take a look at that and say, what is this saying to me, for me, about me? Because if my words are in alignment with your heart and soul, your heart will sing. It will feel happy. It will become in a place of attunement and entrainment, and it will feel good. But if I'm pissing you off, if my challenging these thoughts and feelings upsets you, that's good, because your gut is talking to you, and your body will not allow you to go too far too long by ignoring your inner truth. It will upset you. It will cause distress. It will upset your stomach. It will make you feel sick. It will make you feel a lot of things. That is your epiphanies. That is your awakening. That is the place where we get to challenge the status quo, the power, the manipulation. That is where we feed into the energy of this paradigm shift that is happening, of our evolutions. This is one of the reasons why I love podcasting, why I love platforms like TikTok and Substack. This is where each and every one of our voices can be heard, and it doesn't get filtered through other organizations that are being suppressed. When news organizations are being sued because of what they are saying, instead of allowing people to make their own choices of whether this fits with them or not. You know, back in the 70s and 80s, news was required to show both sides. That was taken away from the requirements of broadcasting. And our news organizations were now allowed to choose a side and promote that opinion, that belief, that paradigm. We need to have conflict of opinions in order to see the truth. We need the contrast of both sides in order to find our direction. When we only have one side available, we don't have a place of relativity of where to move from. We cannot use our own internal GPS if we don't have our starting point. And triggers and feeling attacked or feeling upset by what is happening or what people are saying, that is giving you your starting point GPS. It's saying this is where you are. And it is telling you whether you are facing the right direction or not, whether you are in alignment with yourself or not. This is sacred. This is empowerment. This is beyond important. We must not only hear the voices we agree with. We must not only see the things that fit in our current paradigm. We are okay with progress happening in our science. We are okay with progress happening within our financial systems. But anything else that requires us to become empowered, independent, self-responsible, self-actualized, become part of a broader tapestry instead of a replaceable meme that we have been designed for. That's where we are right now. And I am calling you to come and join the movement. I hope some of the things I'm saying piss you off. I hope it identifies some of the crap that you're carrying. I go through this exercise personally every day, self-analyzing what is happening, taking a look and understanding, am I on track? Recalibrating all the time. Is this who I am now? Am I operating from a place of trauma? Am I operating from a place of my conditioned responses and automatic programming? Or am I in flow? Am I in purpose? Am I living in my peace, in my alignment, my empowerment? And that is what I'm here to do. So please, please join me. Subscribe to this podcast. Make your comments. Share this with other people, especially those that you want to create a new dialogue with, especially those who can help become your team, your community, your tribe, to help you find your own personal center. When each and every one of us is living our truth, living our authentic alignment, that is when the world becomes an exciting, powerful place. That is when we are not feeding the depths of darkness, promoting wars and violence so that some can profit and control from it. Whether you like it or not, whether you are fearful of the change or not, it is happening. It will never, ever reverse. Evolution does not go backwards. And so we can want things to go back to the comfort of our known, or we can rise up, level up, step into who we are, own our voice, own the contribution we bring, and decide, is the contribution I'm bringing empowering more than just me? Or am I creating a division of it's me against the world, that I need to break you down in order for me to be safe? That is unsustainable. That is disempowerment. That is a distruth that your body will create disease from, because your body cannot thrive when it's not in alignment. Your body will take you down. And then we sit back and wonder, how? How did this happen to me? It's happening every single time we choose hate, every single time we choose greed, every single time we choose me over someone or something else. When we are judging, when we are critical rather than collaborating. Oh, this topic makes me so passionate. The power of empowerment is trying to be suppressed, because when you truly are living aligned with who you are and grounded in the masculine foundation that comes from your inner self, and when you are living the embodiment of the feminine, creative, love, empathetic, chaotic, you are then both the boat and the ocean. You are the structure and the freedom. You are it all. And we all have that right to be it all, experience it all. Will you level up? Will you unlearn your crap? Will you support everyone's voice? Will you choose collaboration and solutions that work for all rather than win-lose? I'm working on a new project Actually, I have 2 brand new projects that are coming that are designed for truth tellers like you, for people who are seeking a way to have empowerment. I cannot wait to share it with you. It has become my obsessive, passionate project, and it is so close to being released. I will be announcing it shortly. But if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on the announcements of all the exciting opportunities, tools, and ways for you to find your own empowerment, go to my website, kathybaldwin.me. Sign up for the mailing list or go to the contact page and connect with me. Have a conversation. Schedule a coaching call. Apply to be a guest on this podcast for my Interview Thursday segments. Put your voice out here as well. However it is that you feel called, join me. Thank you for joining me on today's Unfiltered Fire Friday. My name is Kathy Baldwin. I am your host, and this is the Unlearn the Crap and Level Up Your Soul is Calling podcast. Remember, I encourage you to challenge everything so that you can accomplish anything. Until next time, have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Unlearning Curve. I hope you enjoyed it. If something landed for you today, make sure to follow, like, comment, and share, and check out all the other full interviews and other episodes of Unlearn the Crap and Level Up podcast, where you'll find deeper conversations, expert guests, and real stories from people just like you who are unlearning their crap and choosing clarity. Visit me at kathybaldwin.me and get all my free resources. Check out my coaching programs as well as my books. Until next time, keep showing up, keep unlearning, and keep leveling up because your soul is calling.